Hey everybody, it's Lavender Town, and today I'm going to be taking super cute video game characters and turning them into basically like gritty, edgy, AAA video game covers. So the first one I'm starting out with is KK Slider from Animal Crossing, which is a fantastic game. I love it. It's one of the most calming and therapeutic games I've ever had the pleasure of playing. I played a lot of Wild World, New Leaf, and of course I picked up the new app version of Animal Crossing as well. I was a little stumped on this one at first, how to make this one seem like an edgy game. So I kind of went for a play on words and decided to go for Dog of War, basically. I thought God of War would be a good thing to spoof in this particular video because it was famously pretty, they're like pretty inappropriate, I guess, like very M-rated and very gritty. It had a ton of violence and nudity and basically everything that parents worry about with video games. So it was really funny to mix these two together. And I even tried to bring in KK Slider's guitar. The tops of his guitar is what he's actually holding onto with the little swords. And he's basically just cosplaying Kratos. It was sort of my first one, so I was just warming up. But I thought that this would be kind of a silly idea, and it suits KK Slider so terribly because he's so chill and nice in the game, in the Animal Crossing game. So it seems pretty wrong, but at least he can look the part. And Kratos has a lot of little details on his weird skirt wrap thing that he wears, so I tried to incorporate those. I also gave KK his horrible facial hair, just tried to really make him look tough while still looking like KK Slider. And then I just went over it with some dark shading to make him look a little more ominous and give him a little more dimension. I actually did a video, just the inverse of this video, very recently on Friday, actually. So if you haven't seen that one, there'll be a link at the end card at the end of the video, as well as maybe a card popping up over in the corner there. I'm not, hopefully I remember to do that. But here's the final Dog of War Xbox 360 cover. It's, I don't know how good of a game that would be, but it certainly was fun to make. Next up is Splatoon. Splatoon is a hugely popular first-person shooter where you are a squid and a kid, and basically you can shoot out ink, and you're trying to basically capture territory with your paint color, and that's how the game is sort of played. It's a really interesting sort of game because it is basically it's not completely non-violent, but it's primarily non-violent with first-person shooter sort of mechanics, which is really interesting. So I decided to turn it into one of the most, I guess, classic first-person shooters of our age, which would be Call of Duty. So I took one of these little squidlings and turned them into a gritty-looking cadet from a Call of Duty game. Whether you're a squid or a kid, I assume that you know about both Splatoon and Call of Duty because both of these games are hugely popular, and they blend together surprisingly well. I guess it makes sense because, again, like I said, Splatoon is kind of like the FPS for kids. It has lots of bright colors, and it's not, there's no death or anything. But it still uses technically a type of gun, so you just replace that with a real gun and give her a tired soldier's look in her eyes, and it wasn't too difficult after that. And of course, these kind of drawings really don't suit my style. I tried to push it a little bit, but I still wanted it to look like my drawing, so it was a little bit tough. I also tried to give her like a bulletproof vest and all of that, and I made her tentacles look a little more realistic. It made for a very interesting image. Seeing a battle-worn squid kid is a little bit depressing, to be honest. I'm not so sure how popular this game would be either. It kind of corrupts both of the games, because I think Call of Duty is really popular because it's sort of realistic in some ways. Like, it has a lot of real guns from, you know, the era, depending on what game we're talking about, and has a really gritty look to it, which really doesn't pair well with the super cartoony, super colorful and bright aesthetic of Splatoon. But it was fun to blend these two together. And apologies for my horrible gun. You can tell that I'm not the type to draw guns usually. Even with a reference picture, it's a bit of a mess. And as for the colors, I tried to keep it pretty desaturated. I mean, if you look at Call of Duty covers, it's an ocean of gray. The only time there's any color, it seems like, is if there's a fire or an explosion, which again is like pretty much the dead opposite of Splatoon. Like, look at these character designs. They're just like, they're candy colored, and they have completely clashing colors, like in a really delightful kind of way, but it's like makes it extremely bright. So combining that with the most grayscale, gloomy sort of color palettes that you get with Call of Duty is really strange, and it totally ruins her beautiful orange tentacle hair. So that's a bit of a shame. But here is my Xbox 360 cover of Splatoon. And yeah, of course, nice explosion behind her, and just tried to really get that gloomy soldier look. Don't know how successful I was, but yeah. Next, I wanted to do Cooking Mama. She is one of the most cheerful and cute looking game characters I can actually think of, so I thought she would be a great challenge for this. Now, she is in the kitchen, so she's around a lot of sharp objects, so I immediately thought of a knife, and then it got me thinking about Silent Hill, actually, because of course there's Pyramid Head, who drags around this huge knife, and it's actually kind of shaped like a kitchen knife. So I immediately jumped on that, and I basically I decided for this one I would keep the style of Cooking Mama and exactly copy some promotional art for Silent Hill that has Pyramid Head dragging a huge knife behind it, and I thought that would be a really interesting way to combine these two. And I find her Cooking Mama's huge smile, it's almost like an emoji kind of smile. It's like a watermelon slice. It's perfectly straight on the top, and that actually is kind of unsettling when you add anything else unsettling to the picture. It's just such an exaggerated expression that it can come off as very creepy. So I wanted to use that, and I went with the sort of cannibal mama angle with this one. I thought having some cartoon logic, like hands sticking out of her little pocket to show that she's been attacking people now, might be a good fit for this one, because again, yeah, it's kind of like a blend between cartoon and horror, which of course is way up my alley. So I also did some cartoony blood splatter. I made it sort of, yeah, bubbly and cartoony rather than super realistic blood splatter like you see in the picture I was referencing. And I wonder if it would be scarier probably if I did more realistic blood, but yeah, I didn't want to go too super hardcore. But yeah, I thought that this was kind of a fun one. I really do like the Cooking Mama aesthetic. It's so shiny and cheerful. I don't play the games too very much for whatever reason, but I do like these kind of like management games and stuff. I've actually been playing a lot of Cook Serve Delicious, which is kind of like, it's a typing based cooking game, and I totally adore it. I really recommend it. But yeah, cooking based games can be super fun. And and I took the you can't really see it in the reference pictures I took, but I took the shape, there's like a triangular shape to her bandana when she turns her head, so I just turned that into a triangle head bandana kind of thing. And with that, that's done. I put it on a PlayStation 2 cover because that's Silent Hill 2 is on there. And with that, you can see all of my lineup of these sort of transformed characters. I hope you guys like this video. And again, if you want to see something very similar to this, I did the exact reverse recently. So yeah, just check out the end card. There'll be a link to that video. And I will see you guys all very soon. Oh hey, and before you go, as you guys might know, I have a Redbubble with this Art Kid t-shirt, and you can actually get this design in a hoodie and sweater and a lot of different kind of things. And there's also this pizza planchette sticker from my webcomic that you can also have it on a tote bag or a pillow. And because the holiday season is coming up, I'm going to be trying to get some new designs up on there very soon. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, just keep your eyes peeled, because those should be going up sort of randomly. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that that's a thing that's happening. All right, cool. See you later. Thank you to my patrons, including Blep, Code, Ellie Quiznak, Miss Misu, Christy Stewart, Paynamel, Elizabeth Albin, Calpompon, Sergeant Pendulum, Lovely, Lachlan MD, Mystic, Vilka, Enzo Jobert, Yaboy ST, Adrian Delport, JJ, Laura Buter, Riley James, Superpixel, Angela Taylor, Hallman Kearney, blah 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 blah, Addie Visual, and At Live Likes to Draw. If you would like to become a patron, there's a link on the end card. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I'll see you next week.